G'day folks, yeah, Bear here. Today I'm going to do a DCC conversion on this old Athearn GP-60. First thing we've got to do is get the shell off. So what you do there is underneath, in there and there and there, there are like tabs and you push them to the side. And a bit of wriggling and jiggling. And if we do... Oh, and there we go. Righto. Put you up the right way. And off it lifts straight off like that. And there is our train. Now, first thing we have to do is work out the circuitry. This one, that's the forward, so the right hand side, we'll call that the positive side. That's the pickup from that side of the bogie, and the pickup on this is there. So this side of the train does that track, this side of the train does that track. So there's our two positives. Where's the negative? It's the entire frame of the train. I'm not sure how, but these left-hand wheels connect with the main chassis somehow. Don't know how it works, but it works. Otherwise the train wouldn't work at all. So I'm not touching that. That can stay. I'm going to use that. So then next thing you have to do is dismantle it. This bar across the top, that's a common positive, connects both our pickups and also feeds into that top brush of the motor. The bottom brush is connected directly to the chassis. There's your positive and negative for the motor. That's how it works. Okay, first thing is, this goes, we don't need that anymore. So we just unclip it and pop it out and yeah, gone. Now, we'll get back to the globe, just move that out of the way. We need to get the motor out. Now these motors had me a bit stumped, but a bit of a YouTube thing, easy. They push in those plastic pegs, so you just give it a bit of a wriggle and a twist and a pull, and look at that, out she comes under your gears, and there's your motor out, and there's your chassis. Those little plastic things which hold the motor in, they just slide in the sides here somehow. Get in there. Oh, I'm doing it upside down, hang on. Ah, there we go, like that. But so we just take them off, get them out of the way, we'll put them, hang on to them for later. Now the motor gets its power from, there's your positive, there's your negative. See these things on the bottom, they make contact with the bottom of the chassis right in there, and that's where it gets its power from. So what we have to do is and there's the brush contactor in there going through the brush, so we have to insulate that part from that part. Now one thing I noticed, these two copper strips on each side are actually identical except for those things sticking out. So instead of trying to get rid of them, what I'm going to do is just swap those two over. Doesn't take long. You just gently pop the front of it off, and that just lifts off out of the way. There's your spring for your brush, and there's your brush inside. We won't take them out just yet. And then we carefully pop the bottom off, which will fall out because it's gravity. If I can get him out, come on. Whoop. Gotta watch that. That's why I have it on towel, so it catches things that fly off. There's our spring. So righto, we'll put you back together, put the spring back in. Oh, my big hands. Oh, really good for this type of work. Go on, get in there, yeah. Yep, sit him in, and then we put the flat one on the bottom. So we just clip it over that end. Move it down, make sure the spring's in the right spot and everything's looking good. It's a bit fiddly. And give them a push and come on. Oh, you're nearly there. Oh, get there, you stupid thing. There we go. Oh. There we go. And there he's in. Then we just do the same again for the top. Brush is still in there. Put the spring in. And then the same for the top of the motor. Push that in, sit it, line all up. Give him a bit of a clip, and there he is, he's in place. We don't need to worry about those because there's plenty of plastic above and we might actually use them, so for later. Rightio, that's that part done. Now the next problem I found is where to actually mount the DCC chip. I originally thought, oh, I'll put it on top of the motor, but Athearn in their wisdom, they take up that area with a big piece of plastic and a weight into something up there, so don't fit there. After thinking about it for a bit, I found the only place it can go is actually underneath this negative rail, stuck upside down with a bit of double-sided tape. It's the only place it fits. This positive pickup here is a bit of a problem, it's going to hit it, so what we'll be doing is soldering wires onto here, down low, and then cut the top of that off with the track cutters. So that part will be gone and it won't touch the chip. And the chip will be up there mounted, good to go. Now, our pickups, well obviously there's our positives, so I'll be running the red to that one. And eventually I want to join those two together with another piece of wire, so I've got pickups each end. Okay, there's our positive just for now, and this piece here, because the frame is the whole frame's a negative, we've got this nice piece sticking up here, so bang, there's our negative pickup for the chip. The positive, the power leads coming out of the chip, quite simply just go positive, negative. The negative one I'm going to stick on the front of the clip there, solder it there, so it doesn't, I want that dead flat, because I'm going to insulate that. It has to be insulated from that. But that's easy, that's just going to be a bit of sticky insulation tape, cut the size, lay down maybe a piece up with, like, a piece on there and a piece on there, so, and it should be right and it won't touch. Okay, the next bit is to remove the lighting assembly here, which all it does is just clips around that frame sticking up, so we just push it sideways, comes straight off, push the globe out backwards, won't be needing that, and that's what we end up with. If I can, yeah. Which also happens to be just a nice support for my new 5mm bright LED, which is going to go in there, and yeah, that's where that's going to sit. So that's for a bit later on, that one. Okay, now let's we must have to, probably best to start installing the chip. Put the chip in first and then run everything from that. So let's get the chip out and go for it. What's that? Broken there. Yeah. Righto. Okay, the chip I'm using, is my old favourite, the Lens 1023102 standard V+2. Just great chips, do a great job. They'll handle this big motor, this big Yankee iron pretty well, I reckon. So, and then we go up under there like so, and then up. We've got to make sure he's dead in the middle. And let's give him a good push on to stick. And that's what you end up with, the chip stuck up there. Don't worry about that in the way. Not that it doesn't even touch it, but still, it won't be there much longer. Okay, there's our chip mounted. Now, we don't need the socket. Plug, I should say. So, say goodbye, pluggy. And you're gone. Sort out our wires. Green we don't want. What's that? Yeah, there's the black and our red and etc. And I'll sort these out as I go. that's the two I want you to, boysies. It's a motor, pickup, front and rear lights, and the other function. So, right. Okay, first thing, now we start attaching some wires. So I'll put just a dab of flux on there. It's spring steel, so we'll see how we go with the solder. Right, we'll attach our red wires to that pickup, and now we can actually get rid of that. This has been annoying me, so and a big chop, and there we go. Look at that, plenty of room there. Okay, so now we need to stick our negative on, the black wire around here, so I'll just get a dab of solder to stick there and then put it in, and I'll be back with you in a second. Right, yeah, there's our black wire on. Cool. Now we'll start with the motor contacts. I'll take that clip out and solder that end. Take that clip out and solder the wire, and I've got to find which wire is which, I can't remember, brown or orange. And righto, I'll be back with you in a second. Okay, now I've got the negative hooked up to the grey wire according to the code I found. So now we'll put that back on the motor and then install the motor. Okay, now we've got the first motor supply going to that rail. What I need to do now is put my insulation tape on that. I'm not going to worry about it in there, just on that. And then reinstall the motor. So let's start snipping. Okay, there's my insulation, just ordinary old tape, cut the size. I put 2 layers on just to make sure nothing rubbed through eventually. So now we come to the fiddly part of putting the motor back in, which is a bit of a pain because you have to line up the keyways on each end, and it's so I'll get back to you when I've got the motor in because it's going to take a little bit. Okay, now I have, where's my screwdriver? Yeah, I've run the connecting wire to the forward contact. It looks a bit wonky and bent and too long because I was originally going to run it underneath and then up over, but it was got a real chance of it rubbing against flywheel, so we've had to just adjust that and go up and over the motor so lots of clearance there, because if it's touching that, it'll rub through the insulation about 5 seconds flat. So there we go. Right, I'll just attach the other power lead from the chip to the motor onto there. Might have to do that again. It should work. But as for now, we should be able to run the motor and see if it's all going to work. If it don't work, then we go back. Righto, let's get it going. Okay, got it on the track. I've programmed it to number 60, as in GP-60, and all good. Back. Beautiful. Forward again. Oh yeah, very smooth, very good. They're very, I've never really known nothing about American engines, but it's really well engineered and it runs really well. I like it. That's why it's worthy of converting to DCC. Now let's get the light into it. Okay, yeah, she runs pretty well, so now it's time to fit our LED light, which is going to be fiddly, but definitely doable. Just shove that in there. I'm going to give it a good squeeze with pliers, so once she's in, she's not coming out again. All I have to do is scissors will do. Yeah. Looks like that's about as far as it's going to go. I could probably squeeze it up further, but yeah, it'll be right. Okay, now all we do is attach, this one's already got a resistor in it, so it runs full 12 volts. Red to blue, positive to positive, black to white. Now, I won't bore you with all that, doing that, because it's just soldering and stuff, so I'll be back in a minute and it should be all wired up. Okay, here we go, got it all together. Yeah, beautiful. Back. Beautiful. Now, see if the light works. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's very bright. But, hey, cool. Off, on, excellent. Now, if I type in 22 to CV60 on the program. Right. There we go. And if we do 44, hey, there we go, disco. So disco on the old GP-60 tonight, everyone's invited. And there you go, folks, easy as that to convert one of these old locos to DCC. Thanks for watching, hope this helps someone, and I'll catch you later.